Hi all, this is Mohit Rathi and I welcome you all to my beginner to advanced level of WordPress course. So before we go ahead and get started with this course, I would like to quickly go ahead and introduce myself. So I'm somebody who started my career back in the year 2016. I started with a company called as thirdhover.com, which was into online food delivery service. And I used to work there as a social media executive. That is, I used to manage their Facebook account. I used to manage their Twitter account. Back then, they didn't focus much on Instagram. So 1 year I worked as a social media executive. Then I started my own e-commerce website. This e-commerce website was into B2B business. We used to export a lot of materials out of India. 4 years I worked for this company. We got a very good valuation for this company and then I sold it out. Later, I realized that my passion is also into training. So I started as a corporate trainer. In the last 4 years, I've trained more than 35,000 students in offline training programs and more than 75,000 students in online self-paced training programs. My recent engagement has also been with a lot of international governments. I'm also associated with the Royal Government of Bhutan, wherein I keep traveling to Bhutan to do batches on digital marketing. So usually I tell my students that I'm into training because of my passion. Otherwise, my profession is still a digital marketing consultant for various international governments and organizations. So guys, that was a quick introduction about who am I. Now getting started with this course, guys. So let me just quickly go ahead and tell you guys that what is going to be the agenda of this course. This course is going to be divided into three different phases. The first phase is going to be learning how do you go about with building corporate website. The second phase is going to be how do you go about with building e-commerce website. And the third phase of this workshop is going to be of this course is going to be how do you go about with building other kind of website, that is your newspaper website and all of that. So guys, in phase number one, when we are talking about corporate website, remember, we are talking about how do you go about with building website absolutely with zero programming knowledge. That is no HTML, no C++, no JavaScript. And these are the different modules that we are going to cover, guys. We are going to cover 10 important modules. We are going to go a little slow. Okay, we are going to go a little slow. So for today, we are only going to cover module number one, which is introduction to domain and hosting and CMS, guys. Okay, now, before we go ahead and get started with introduction to domain hosting and CMS, I usually, before I begin my new courses or a live course or even for a workshop for that matter, we have something called as ground rules, guys. Now, what is this ground rules? This ground rules is nothing but an understanding between you and me that how this training program must go on. So it is a pre-recorded course. There are certain ground rules that I want you guys to follow, guys. The first important ground rule that I want you guys to follow is all of us are going to focus on practicals. I'll be very honest with you. Module number one is the only session where we are going to do a little bit of theory, trying to understand the fundamentals of website designing. Otherwise, the entire course is going to be completely practicals. So I want you guys to make sure that you guys are pausing the recording in between. You guys are making notes and you guys are also implementing everything side by side along with me. So the first important ground rule is we are going to focus on practical. The second important ground rules is, guys, I want you guys to be a part of my community, be a little interactive on that community, and then ask your questions on that community. So there will be a WhatsApp group link that will be given right below. You guys can click on that WhatsApp group link and be a part of the community. Remember, try to use the community only to ask your queries related to WordPress and digital marketing and no other promotional activities, guys. So that is the second important ground rule. I want you guys to be interactive with the help of community support that is available. Now, guys, these are the two important ground rules. And one thing I can tell you is if you're going to follow these two ground rules and the entire course material, there is no reason why you won't be able to build great websites and get freelancing projects for yourself, guys. So try to focus on this and then we are good to go, guys. Cool. Now, quickly going ahead and getting started with the module number one. Remember, module number one is the only module wherein we are going to talk a little bit of theory. From module number two onwards, it is going to be everything practical, guys. So what are the three different things that we are going to cover under module number, guys? We are going to try to understand all of these different things. Okay, so let me just quickly go ahead and show you guys an example so that you guys will be able to understand all of this concept, that what is a domain name, what is a hosting and all of that. Okay, so let's begin with something called as internet. Let's say, guys, we have something called as internet over here. Let's say we have something called as internet over here. We are going to compare internet to what? Internet is equal to planet Earth, guys. Okay, internet is equal to what? Internet is equal to planet Earth. Now, if I want to find out where are you located on planet Earth, what is it that you're going to share with me? Now, most of you guys are going to tell me that you're going to share your location with me. If I want to find out where are you located on planet Earth, you're going to share your location with me. But let's say we are not living in the WhatsApp era where we have the location, okay? Then you're going to maybe share your postal address with me. You're going to share your postal address with me. Very similar to that, guys. Domain name, okay? Domain name is equal to what, guys? Domain name is equal to company address, or you can also call it as postal address. Now, there are so many different companies located on internet, right? There are so many companies located on internet. If you want to visit a particular company, you guys must know what is their domain name, guys. You guys must know what is their domain name. An example for a domain name is, guys, something that ends with .com. Another example of a domain name is, let's say, something that ends with .in, something that ends with .online, .us, and all of this. So these are classical example of what? This is a classical example of domain name. Now, since we are talking about domain names, guys, the first important thing on the domain name is going to be extension. Okay, the first important thing is going to be extension. What are the different extensions available? The first and the most popular extension is, guys, .com. So whenever a .com is available, I would always recommend you guys to go ahead and purchase .com. .com stands for commercial, but it also means global. It also means if you're building a e-commerce website, so .com is highly recommended, guys. However, very similar to that, you also have something called as .in. Now, most of you guys know that .in stands for what? .in stands for India. Usually, a lot of people also have this notion that Mohit, a .in domain name cannot be opened in United States. But the answer is no, guys. A .in domain name can be accessible anywhere across the globe unless and until the website owner has put some IP address restriction. Okay. Now, I'll tell you one interesting story. So this goes back to the year 1980s. Okay, this goes back to the year 1980s, that all of these countries have come together and they have decided that every country is going to get one extension. Every country is going to get one extension. So let's say .us. So .us belongs to whom? It belongs to United States. Let's say .uk. .uk belongs to United Kingdom. .in belongs to India. Very similar to that, .lk belongs to Sri Lanka. So every country got its extension. Now, whenever you guys are purchasing a .in domain name, a part of the royalty or a part of the taxes is going to go to whom? A part of the taxes is going to go to Government of India. Very similar to that, whenever you guys are purchasing a .us, .uk domain name, a part of the taxes is going to go to whom? A part of the taxes is going to go to that particular government, guys. Okay. One more interesting thing over here. There is one particular country called as Tuvalu. It is a very small island nation and it owns a domain extension called as .tv. Now, who would be interested in purchasing a .tv domain name, guys? All of these media outlets, all there out there, they would be interested in purchasing a .tv domain name. Okay, it is a very small island country, hardly 12,000 to 12,000 people. So this country makes almost close to 75% of its GDP from the sale of domain names, guys. Okay, and .tv domain names are not available on your Big Rock, GoDaddy. If you want to purchase a .tv domain name, you guys will have to reach out to the government of Tuvalu and they price it at a very higher price, guys. Okay, so this was a little bit of additional information. Now, very similar to this, guys, you also have something called as .online. If in case you're doing something for experimental purposes, then you guys can go with .online. You guys can also go with something called as .xyz if in case you're doing something for experimental purposes. Ideally, a domain name is going to cost you how much rupees, guys? A domain name is going to cost you somewhere around 600 rupees to 800 rupees per year. Remember, it has to be renewed every year, guys. So if you go with a .com, if you go with a .in, it is going to cost you how much? It is going to cost you 600 rupees to 800 rupees per year, guys. Okay. Now, I'll talk later that who should be going with a .com, who should be going with a .in, and who should be going with a .online extension a little later, guys. For now, let's just quickly come back over here. Again, when we are talking about domain names, you have all of these different websites. GoDaddy is a very popular website to purchase the domain name because of the aggressive marketing that they do. And also there is this website called as bigrock.in. Okay, so there are two important types of domain names, guys. The first one is called as the premium domain name, and the second one is called as what? The second one is called as the normal domain name. Normal domain name refers to those domain names wherein the price is between 99 rupees to, let's say, 1,000 rupees, whereas premium domain name refers to those domain names where the price starts from 50,000 rupees to 50 crore for the first year. But second year onwards, you're going to pay the normal price of 1,000 rupees and all of that. Okay, let me just quickly go ahead and try to go ahead and show it to you guys with the help of an example. Let's say I'm going to quickly go to this website, which is bigrock.in, guys. Okay, and over here, let me search for a domain name. Okay, Let's wait for a minute. So if you guys see over here, guys, I have searched for a domain name. The domain name that I have searched for is pinkdiamonds.com. Let's see if the domain name is available or not available, guys. And if it is available, whether it is a normal domain name or whether it is a premium domain name, let's quickly go ahead and have a look over here. So if you guys see over here, pinkdiamond.com is not available. However, pinkdiamonds.net is available and it says it is a premium domain name. What is the price of the domain name, guys? It is close to 4,13,000 rupees. Okay. With that, let me just quickly come back over here. So why is a particular domain name premium domain name? There are three absolute reasons why a domain name is premium, guys. Number one, it is a very catchy keyword. It is a very catchy keyword, and you can also call it as a frequently used keyword. For example, mobileshopping.com. So mobileshopping.com is definitely going to be a premium domain name. The second important reason is it is the name of a brand. For example, if you search for bmw.com, if you search for audi.com, so all of this falls under the category of name of a brand. And the third important reason is it is the name of a celebrity. Okay, so let's say if you search for viratkohli.com, or if you search for any other celebrity, if it is a name of a celebrity, it might be a little premium, guys. So these are three absolute reasons why a domain name is premium. Now, why is this activity important, guys? Because whenever you guys are talking to a client related to their website designing project, you guys need to consider two different things. Number one, whether the domain name is available or not available. Second important thing is whether the domain name is a normal domain name or whether the domain name is a premium domain name. So these are the two important things to be considered, guys. So with that, let's quickly come back over here, guys. For now, we are not going to buy a premium domain name, guys. We are only going to buy a normal domain name that is going to cost you 600 rupees to 800 rupees. And if you go for something called as .online or .xyz, that is going to cost you 100 rupees, guys. Okay. Quickly moving on, after domain name, the next important concept is website, guys. Now, website is equal to what, guys? Website is equal to your company. Like you can register yourself as a sole proprietor. You can register yourself as a private limited company. You guys can also register yourself as, let's say, also a partnership or a LLP. Very similar to that, guys. When you are building a website, you can either build a e-commerce website, you can either build a corporate website, or you guys can also go about with building let's say a newspaper blogging website. Okay, now in order to build a website, guys, there are two different methods. The first method is called as the programming method. The first method is called as the programming method, wherein you're going to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, all of these programming languages and build your website. The second method by which we are going to build the website is called as the non-programming method. So I'm going to teach you guys how to build your website with the non-programming method, absolutely with zero programming knowledge. In order to do the non-programming method, guys, we are going to use something called as CMS. Okay, what are we going to use, guys? We are going to use something called as CMS, content management system. So content management system is a software that will help you to build your websites absolutely with zero programming knowledge. So what are the different CMS available in the market, guys? One of the very popular CMS that is available in the market is called as Wix. The second important CMS, let's say, you also have something called as Joomla. You also have something called as Magento, and you also have something called as WordPress, guys. So these are the different CMS that are available in the market. Now, out of this CMS, the one which we are going to use, guys, is called as what? Is called as WordPress. Now, why are we going to use WordPress, guys? Because almost close to 37% of the websites on internet today, okay, 37% of websites on internet today are powered by what? Are powered by WordPress, guys. So if you are able to learn WordPress in depth, you guys will be able to replicate 37% of the websites that are already available on internet. Now, a lot of people have this notion that Mohit, WordPress websites are much more simpler. There is no scope for it and all of that. But the answer is no, guys, because the WordPress website that we are going to learn is complex WordPress websites. It is not that WordPress.org blog where you go about with blogging, publishing a few articles. It is not that WordPress, guys. It is a completely different WordPress that we are going to learn about, guys. Okay. So WordPress has the highest market share with 37%. The second highest market share is, guys, of Wix. And what is the market share of Wix, guys? With the second highest position, the market share of Wix is somewhere close to 3%. Okay. So you see, what am I trying to show you over here, guys? The first highest is 37% and the second highest is 3%. That means at this point of time, there is no competition to WordPress, guys. At this point of time, there is no competition to WordPress at all. So let me just quickly come back over here. Our website is sorted. We are going to build our website by using a non-programming method. And what is the non-programming method that we are going to use? We are going to use the CMS, and the CMS is called as what, guys? We are going to use the CMS called as WordPress, guys. Okay, we are going to build the CMS called as WordPress. Now, let me just quickly come back over here. In order to build a company, what is required? Let's say if you want to build your physical store, okay, in order to build your physical store or the physical setup, what is required? Definitely a land is required so that you can go about with building your store and all of that. Very similar to that, guys. Okay, very similar to that. On internet also, you guys are supposed to purchase a land, and that land is called as what, guys? Hosting. So hosting is equal to what, guys? Hosting is equal to your land, guys. Okay, now you might ask me that, Mohit, why am I supposed to purchase a land on internet? Guys, you're supposed to purchase a land on internet so that you can display your company information, homepage, about us page, contact us page, so that you can display your products. That is, let's say whatever product that you have, you want to load those products on internet. So if you want to load those products on internet so that people can browse it, you're going to purchase what, guys? You're going to purchase a land on internet. However, the good thing is the land on internet is not very expensive, guys. The good thing is the land on internet is not very expensive. Now, like you have different types of land in your offline real estate, very similar to that. On internet, you have different types of hosting. The first important type of hosting is called as what, guys? The first important type of hosting is called as cloud hosting. Very, very expensive, because what happens with cloud hosting is it is required for websites who get somewhere around 10 lakh, 15 lakh or 20 lakh visitors per month. Then you're supposed to go with cloud hosting. Okay, cloud hosting of DigitalOcean is recommended. DigitalOcean is a good website to buy your cloud hosting plan from. The second type of hosting is, guys, shared hosting. Okay, the second type of hosting is called as what? Shared hosting. The one which you are going to use is going to be shared hosting. So what is the meaning of shared hosting, guys? It is nothing but shared resources. There is a resource, there is a server that is set up in Bangalore, and the same server is going to be used by multiple number of different websites. So that is called a shared hosting. It is decent enough. It is good enough. If you're getting somewhere around 4 lakh, 5 lakh visitors per month on your website, shared hosting will be more than sufficient, guys. Now, under shared hosting also, there are two different types of plan. The first one is called as single hosting. The second one is called as multi-hosting. Okay, under multi-hosting, there are again two different categories. There is something called as premium and there is something called as business. There is not too much of difference between premium and business. I'll talk about that difference. But for now, just remember, under shared hosting, there are two different types of hosting. The first one is called as single hosting. The second one is called as multi-hosting. So what is this single hosting, guys? Single hosting refers to, you guys will be able to add only one website, guys. Okay, single hosting refers to what? You will be able to add only one website. So that is called as single hosting. Multi-hosting refers to, you guys will be able to add 100 websites on the same server. They tell you 100 websites, but I recommend you don't try to add more than 10 websites if it is a corporate website. Don't add more than 5 websites if it is a e-commerce website, guys. Okay, they tell you 100 websites, but my limit is going to be 5 or maximum 10 websites on a multi-hosting plan. Why is that? Because if something goes wrong with that server, guys, then all the 100 clients are going to be affected. So a good practice is 10 clients are affected and not 100 clients are affected, guys. Okay, now let me tell you an example of this, guys. Let's say you guys are purchasing, domain name is always separate, guys. So you guys are purchasing a domain name. Now domain name, along with the domain name, you guys are also purchasing something called as a multi-hosting plan, guys. You guys are purchasing a multi-hosting plan. So what happens is, let's say after 3 months, you guys have onboarded a new client, and this new client is also looking for website designing. So you guys have purchased a domain name for this new client. Along with the domain name, will the hosting be required, guys? The answer is no. So you can use your existing multi-hosting plan, and on the same hosting plan, you guys can add this another domain name also. A lot of people had this notion that, Mohit, if I purchase a multi-hosting plan, 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, I need not buy the domain name because it is unlimited websites, 100 websites. But the answer is no, guys. Domain name should be purchased. However, hosting need not be purchased again. Okay, now let me come back to this example again. Let's say today you guys are purchasing a domain name. Along with a domain name, you guys are purchasing a single hosting plan. So 3 months down the line, you have onboarded a new client, and for this new client, you have purchased a domain name. Will the hosting be required again? The answer is yes, guys, because initially your plan was a single hosting plan. So over here, you guys need to purchase another hosting that can either be single or that can either be multi, guys. That can either be single or that can either be multi. Now, the next important question that Mohit, what is the price of this single hosting and multi hosting? Remember, guys, all the pricing is going to be per year. However, at the initial stage, that is the first time you are buying, you can buy a higher plan that is for 4 years, because when you're buying it for the first time, you guys get some additional discount that is not available in renewal, guys. Okay. So let's say a single hosting plan is going to cost you somewhere around 1,800 rupees per year, guys. Okay. 1,800 rupees per year. And a multi-hosting plan, it is going to cost you somewhere around 3,300 rupees per year, guys. Okay. Now, the good thing is, guys, okay, here is where the difference comes. Let's say if you guys go with a single hosting plan, so single hosting will cost you 1,800 rupees. And if will along with that, if you guys are going with a domain name, how much will the domain name cost you guys? Maximum 800 rupees. If you're going with a .com domain name along with the taxes, it is going to cost you 800 rupees. So the total comes up to what, guys? The total over here comes up to 2,600 rupees, guys. Okay. You can round it off to 2,700 with some additional taxes because this might be 1,850. So let's say I'll round it off to 2,700 rupees is going to be what, guys? Is going to be your single hosting plan. And then your multi-hosting plan. So in multi-hosting plan, for the hosting, you're paying 3,300 rupees plus for the domain name. Remember, guys, with multi-hosting plan, you get the domain name for free of cost. So domain name is equal to what, guys? Domain name is 0 rupees. So for somewhere around 3,300 rupees, you're getting a multi-hosting plan, guys. For 3,300 rupees, you're getting a multi-hosting plan. Domain name is free of cost. I wouldn't call it as free of cost, guys. I would call it as it is already included in the 3,300. Now you guys need to decide that which one is better, guys. So it is a difference of only 600 rupees. In a difference of 600, you're getting what? You're getting multi-hosting with one .com or .in free of cost. One more way is, guys, you can go with a single hosting plan of 1 year for 1,900 rupees. Along with this, you can purchase a 100 rupees domain name. Okay, what is a 100 rupees domain name? .online.xyz. However, that is only for experimental purpose. However, that is only for experimental purpose. That time this comes up to 2,000 rupees, guys. Okay. Now you see, a lot of my students ask me that, Mohit, what domain name should I purchase? Okay, what domain name should I purchase and what hosting plan should I purchase? So let me simplify it for you guys. Let's say here are the options I'm going to give you guys. Number one, you guys have a family business or you guys have a friend's business. There is a friend of yours who is a photographer, who is a makeup artist, and you want to build a website for them. So the first option is you have a family business or you have a friend's business. The second option that I'm going to give you guys is, let's say you want to start your own digital marketing agency. So you're going to come up with a name for your own digital marketing agency. Let it be .com, let it be .in, and then we are going to go about with check whether it is available, not available. The third option I want to give you guys is you are a digital marketing freelancer. So as a digital marketing freelancer, what you can do is, guys, you can either buy a domain name in your own name. That is, I have a domain name called as mohitrathi.com. Very similar to that, you guys can have whatever is your full name.com. Otherwise, you can also do digitalmohit.com, digital followed by your name. There is one student of mine who also runs digital bulletin. So you guys can come up with a name like that, digital marketing freelancer. You can either call it as digital marketing freelancer, or you can also call it as a digital marketing blog, wherein you're going to blog about your digital marketing journey, guys. So this is the third important option. The fourth important option is you guys have a hobby. So there are some students of mine who run this website called as Clicks and Tricks. So they talk about what? They talk about photography. There are some more students of mine who, there is one more student of mine who runs this portal called as Two Traveling Souls. So they talk about their traveling stories and all of that. So if you have a hobby and you want to talk about that hobby, you want to blog about that hobby, that is the fourth option. The fifth option is you guys want to create a newspaper kind of website. What is a newspaper kind of website, guys? Wherein you're only going to publish news articles. There is a student of mine who runs crickbolly.com. So it is nothing but all about cricket, and Bollywood is published on that particular portal. How will you make money? With the help of Google AdSense. So guys, these are the 5 different options I'm going to give you guys. Remember, first we are going to build a website only for one of the options, guys, not all the 5 options. Family business or friend business, digital marketing agency, digital marketing freelancer, hobby, or newspaper website. Okay. Now the next important thing, Mohit, should I go with a single hosting or should I go with a multi-hosting? So if you are somebody who is confident that in the near future, I'm going to build multiple number of different websites, either as a freelancer or for my own business, then go with multi-hosting plan, guys, because the discount that you're going to get once you sign up for the first time is different than while you come back and then first purchase single hosting, then you purchase multi-hosting or upgrade, then the discount becomes a little less, guys. Okay, for example, if you purchase a single hosting, first time you're getting it for 1,900 rupees. But from the same email ID, if you want to purchase a multi-hosting, then it is going to be 4,500 or something, guys. So a good practice is, if you want to create multiple number of different websites in the near future, go with multi-hosting. And I'll tell you very honestly, almost close to 70% of my students, they onboard their first client within 3 weeks of the completion of this WordPress course, guys. So don't worry whether I'll get the client or not. Maximum within 3 weeks of the completion of this WordPress course, you guys will be able to onboard your first client, provided you have followed all the steps, guys. Okay. Now, single hosting is recommended for people who have only one business and you guys want to only focus on that business and you don't want to do anything else. Then go with a single hosting plan, and you can also go with 4 years. There are a lot of business owners, they tell me, Mohit, I want to only focus on my business, so I want to purchase a 4-year plan of single hosting. So in the next module, in module number 2, I'll tell you how do you go about with purchasing single hosting or multi-hosting. But guys, before that, before you proceed to the next module, you guys need to finalize on 2 different things. Number 1, which domain name do you guys want to purchase? Do you guys want to purchase a .com? Do you guys want to purchase a .in? And you guys need to also check whether it is available in Big Rock or not available in Big Rock, guys. That is the first important activity. The second important activity is you guys need to also finalize on what is the hosting do you want to go with. Do you want to go with single hosting or do you want to go with multi-hosting, guys? This is something that you guys need to decide. In the next module, I'm going to quickly go ahead and show you guys how do you go about with purchasing the domain hosting and how do you go about with installing WordPress. For those of you guys who have existing domain name, and if you guys only want to purchase a hosting, that is also fine. And for those of you guys who already have domain, already have hosting, you guys can directly move on to module number 2 and maybe module number 3. So with that, guys, I'm going to see you guys in the next module. Please finalize on what is the domain, what is the hosting that you guys want to purchase. And if required, please go back and watch this module again. I'm going to see you guys in the next module. #LearnWithMohit Rathi.